If using a wave touch control, it must be in the Awaken Display mode before entering the service modes. To enter the service mode, press and hold the freezer up and down temperature pads at the same time for 5 seconds. On activation, all LEDs on the display will illuminate. Pressing the Fresh Food Up key will blank the display. Pressing the Fresh Food Up key again will begin the first test. Test 28 is the dispenser paddle test. Press the paddle with the freezer door closed to test it. The display will show on when pressed and off when released. Test 2 is the defrost heater test. Push the on-off pad and the heater will come on. Push the on-off pad again and the heater will go off. Test 3 is the fresh food compartment lighting test. Push the on-off pad and then open the fresh food door and the food compartment lights will come on low and ramp up. Push the on-off pad again to cancel the test. Test 8 is the water dispenser only test. This test turns on both the primary and secondary valves. Place a cup under the dispenser to collect all of the water. Push the on-off pad to activate the valve. Push the on-off pad again to deactivate. Test 9 is the freezer compartment lighting test. Push the on-off pad and then open the freezer door and the freezer compartment lights will come on low and ramp up. Push the on-off pad again to cancel the test. Test 10 is the auger motor test. Push the on-off pad to activate the auger, which runs with the freezer door closed. Push the on-off pad again to deactivate. Test 11 is the cube crush solenoid test. Push the on-off pad to activate the solenoid. Push the on-off pad again to deactivate. Test 12 is the VCC condenser fan motor test. Push the on-off pad and the fan motor will run at full speed. Push the on-off pad again and it will stop running. Test 38 is the VCC compressor test. Push the on-off pad and the compressor will run at full speed. If the compressor is not running, check the J2 connection on the main power board. Pins 3 and 4 should read between 10 and 15 volts AC. The same pins should also read 2 volts DC or less. If voltage is outside the listed range, then replace the main control board. Push the on-off pad again and it will stop running. This test is only for units with the VCC compressor. For standard compressors, see Test 1. Test 15 is the evaporator fan motor test. Push the on-off pad and the fan will run at low speed. Push the on-off pad again and the fan will run at full speed. Push the on-off pad one more time and the fan will stop running. Test 22 is the damper test. Push the on-off pad and the damper will open. Push the on-off pad again and the damper will close. Test 36 is the ice door test, which consists of the flapper solenoid and microswitch. Push the on-off pad and the solenoid will activate. Push the on-off pad again to deactivate. Test 23 is the fresh food door test. Freezer display will show an OP when the doors are open and a CL when the doors are closed. Test 24 is the freezer door test. The freezer display will show an OP when the door is open and a CL when the door is closed. Test 26 is the defrost limit switch test. The freezer display will show an OP when the switch is open and a CL when the switch is closed. Test 29 is the fresh food thermistor test. The display will show either a 0 if the thermistor is good or an ER if the thermistor is open or shorted. Test 30 is the freezer thermistor test. The display will show either a 0 if the thermistor is good or an ER if the thermistor is open or shorted. Test 33 is the ambient thermistor test. The display will show either a 0 if the thermistor is good or an ER if the thermistor is open or shorted. The ambient thermistor is mounted on and part of the main power board. If the thermistor is open or shorted, then the entire main power board will need to be replaced. After test number 33, the system software versions are displayed. There are 5 different software versions numbered 0 to 4. 0 is the main board parameter version, to distinguish the model. 1 is used by board manufacturer only. 2 is the main board software version. 3 is used by board manufacturer only. 4 is the user interface software version. It is normal for the following test to count up in seconds after testing is completed until the test mode is canceled. To deactivate the service mode at any time, press and hold the Fresh Food Up key for 5 seconds. The control will beep and the service mode will deactivate. It is normal if the power failure light will come on after testing is canceled.